Greetings, fellow writers. You know how to use this, the full stop, and you know how to use this, the comma, but do you know how to use this, the colon, and this, the semicolon? If not, stay tuned and you'll soon be an expert. Let's dive straight in. The colon and the semicolon can be puzzling punctuation marks. They look very similar, but have very different purposes. Do you know the difference? Can you use them confidently? If not, don't worry, you're not alone. Many adults aren't sure about them either. A colon is made of two dots, one above the other. You may have noticed colons being used for digital times, separating the hours from the minutes. You may have seen them in play scripts, where they're used to separate a character's name from what they say. You may also have seen them in maths questions relating to ratio. But colons are used for much more than this. A colon basically unpacks things. It indicates that new detail is about to be revealed. Following a colon might be a single word. Robert could do only one thing. Walk. Notice how in the UK the letter after the colon is not capitalized. In the US it is. Whichever you prefer, be consistent. A short phrase can also follow a colon. An eagle's vision is incredibly sharp, enabling it to spot prey from great heights. Notice how before the colon we have an independent clause. It is a full sentence and makes complete sense on its own. What we have added after the colon does not, though. A colon is also used to introduce a list. Explorers of the Amazon rainforest have encountered a wealth of fascinating species. Poison dart frogs, howler monkeys, capybaras, and jaguars. Finally, colons are used to introduce a quote. Albert Einstein once wrote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." A semicolon is a dot floating above a comma. A semicolon is used to connect together two closely related independent clauses. So both sides of the semicolon are complete sentences that both make sense on their own. These independent clauses could be joined using conjunction words like and or but. And of course, they could also be separated by a full stop. But a semicolon shows there is a closer relationship between these two sentences than a full stop suggests. The Great Wall of China stretches over 21,000 kilometers. It is one of the most impressive architectural feats in history. So we have two independent clauses. The Great Wall of China stretches over 21,000 kilometers, and it is one of the most impressive architectural feats in history. We could have put a full stop between these two sentences. Or we could have used a conjunction like and. But instead, we have used a semicolon. Why? It can help the sentence to flow better. It can have more impact on the reader. It can add variety to your writing and stops me using the same conjunctions over and over again. In the corner of the room, the clock ticked impatiently. It was time we left. As well as joining together independent clauses, the semicolon has another use. It is used to separate items in a list when those items already contain commas. Let me explain with an example. Imagine if I wrote this. I have lived in Sydney, Australia, Dortmund, Germany, Caracas, Venezuela, and Manila, Philippines. I need commas in between each city and country. However, if you don't know where these places are, it would be a really confusing sentence. Here's where a semicolon is useful. Because my list needs commas to punctuate it, I can use semicolons to separate each of the items on the list. Ah, that looks much clearer. Let's see another example of this in action. I'd recommend you go to Whistler, Canada this Christmas for 3 reasons. First, the world-class skiing. Second, the breathtaking scenery. And third, the welcoming local community. These 2 semicolons are important. And did you notice the colon to introduce the list? In short, a colon unpacks information. It is used when adding extra information in the form of words and phrases at the end of a sentence. It is used to introduce a list. It is used to introduce a quote. A semicolon joins together related information. If you've written 2 independent clauses that are closely connected, instead of separating them with a full stop or using a conjunction like and or but, you simply link them with a semicolon. Semicolons are also used to separate items in a list when you already need commas within the items being listed. Hopefully, you're now in a position to punctuate like a pro. Thanks for watching.